Hey everybody, it's Jake Tapper from CNN State of the Union and factcheck.org, and today we're going to take a look at an opinion piece written about voter fraud, alleged voter fraud in New Hampshire, written by Chris Kobach, who is the Secretary of State of Kansas and also the chairman of President Trump's Commission on Election Integrity. Let me read you part of Kobach's September 7th piece for Breitbart. Quote, "It has long been reported anecdotally that out-of-staters take advantage of New Hampshire's same-day registration and head to the Granite State to cast fraudulent votes. Now there's proof," unquote. Is that true? Is there now proof of voter fraud in New Hampshire that, as Kobach goes on to write in the Breitbart piece, likely flipped a U.S. Senate seat from Republican to Democrat and also cost Donald Trump the 4 electoral votes of the Granite State? No, that is not true. There is not proof. What Kobach is referring to in his piece is the fact that 6,000 New Hampshire voters registered that day to vote using out-of-state driver's licenses to do so. But there's nothing at all illegal about that. Now, Kobach says, quote, "In and of itself, that doesn't prove that any fraud occurred," unquote, because theoretically each of those individuals could have been someone who recently moved to the state and had not yet had time to get a New Hampshire driver's license in his explanation. But he goes on to write that by August 30th, 2017, nearly 10 months after Election Day, only 1,000 of the roughly 6,000 same-day registrants who used out-of-state driver's licenses had then obtained a New Hampshire driver's license, and he says, therefore, the other 5,000 that did not obtain a New Hampshire driver's license, well, that's proof of voter fraud. But that is not proof of widespread voter fraud. New Hampshire is one of 15 states where voters can register the same day they vote, as long as they swear in an affidavit that that state is their domicile, and then present some sort of identification, including an out-of-state driver's license, to then prove their identity and vote. Individuals are supposed to obtain a New Hampshire driver's license within 60 days of moving to the state. Failure to do so is not considered proper, but it is also not considered voter fraud. That's at least according to Fergus Cullen, the former chairman of the New Hampshire Republican Party. Now, Cullen told factcheck.org that most of the people who registered the same day that they voted were college students, and he went on to say, students who spend most of the year in that state are allowed by state law to vote in New Hampshire, and the courts have ruled that it's perfectly okay to be domiciled in New Hampshire for voting purposes and still keep your driver's license from the home state where your parents live. Cullen said, quote, "What Kobach and the commission are conflating is a state law they don't like, same-day voter registration, with massive fraud, and they are two different things." A reminder to all you politicians out there, you're perfectly entitled to your own opinions, not to your own facts. I'm Jake Tapper for CNN State of the Union and factcheck.org.